This is the Great Gatsby Psychological Analysis of Tom Buchanan by Miria, Jordan, Lydia, and Alina. We decided to evaluate Tom Buchanan. He is a 30-year-old white male married to Daisy Buchanan. He is incredibly athletic as he was a football player in his past. He is extremely powerfully built, both mentally and physically, and he views himself as superior to others, which can give him an overconfident and arrogant attitude. He is educated and attended the University of Yale, and he was born into wealth. We wanted to determine consistent symptoms exhibited by the patient and determine the severity of his issues in order to find a diagnosis for him and help him and his loved ones. To diagnose the patient, we went through many documents, beginning with the MGAF assessment, which was just an initial assessment to see where the patient stood and how severe his issues were. From there, we went on to the cross-cutting measure 1 document, which categorized the patient into specific areas that needed to have further examination. From there, we used that document to find 5 categories that Tom Buchanan needed to be assessed in, including anger, anxiety, mania, depression, and substance use. After that, we reviewed all the cross-cutting measures and found 2 specific areas in which the patient needed to be reevaluated in. And we did a severity measure assessment for depression and anxiety for Tom Buchanan. After that, we did a personality inventory to see any possible personality disorders that the patient might exhibit. And after that, using all of those documents so far, we went through the DSM-5 and diagnosed the patient. After that, we did a psychological interview to determine the best treatment plan for our patient. Some background information about the patient. Tom Buchanan, while he has exhibited these issues most of his life, has never seen help for them and has never taken any medication for these issues. As previously stated, he was born into a wealthy family, so he has never really struggled with money and any issues regarding that. He has always displayed and remained confident and has had an arrogant nature. As previously stated, he is married to Daisy Buchanan, and in the early years of their marriage, they were extremely happy. But over the past few years, they have developed some serious issues in their marriage. Tom has become a negligent husband and father. As he mentioned, he was not there for the birth of his own daughter and is currently having an affair with Myrtle Wilson. Some issues that we have understood from Mr. Buchanan that needed further examination is his irritability. He is often irritated by very simple things, very uncontrollable things, and even those things closest to him. He often gets irritated with friends, his wife, Daisy, Myrtle, and they can just be sparked by small conversations. We noticed that he mentioned to us that sometimes this irritation can turn into physical violence, as he punched his mistress in the face and broke her nose, and her nose started bleeding. And we notice he doesn't show any remorse for these actions and fails to see an issue with anything that he does. We also notice that he has some underlying sadness and expressed to us that his wife might be having an affair with a man named Gatsby, and this caused him to be slightly distant. And we noticed that he has a possible issue with substance abuse, as he often has alcohol on him and mentions all the time that he's grabbing a drink or he has whiskey with him. Additionally, adding on to the possible issues of depression, the recent death of his mistress has sparked some new symptoms for Tom, including extreme sadness and restlessness. So through the first document of evaluation, through the MGAF, we categorized him in group 31 through 33 with major impairment in several areas of functioning. We noticed that he had extreme anger and some anxious tendencies. Sometimes he would be sad, and his emotions were generally all over the place. And this was extremely abnormal behavior. And he mentioned that he is very negligent to his wife, as he is cheating on her currently, and he is not very active in the life of his child.